Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. From time to time, I get pretty interesting comments, and I thought I would share this with the masses. And again, the majority of the stuff that I do as far as these videos is geared towards young folks, kind of put them on the fast track to getting on track. Because I was fortunate enough when I was younger that I had a lot of older guys around me to kind of, help me, educated me, provided me with knowledge, so I didn't have to make a mistake that they made before they tried to head that out for me. That's what I do, for the most part. And I thought that I would post this video here because it's pretty interesting, commentary. I recently did a video review of the Keith Urban guitar. Now, as you guys know, I'm a professional musician. I've been playing since I was a teenager, professional since I was in my 20s. I've had hundreds of guitars, and I've played many of them, because I've owned, well over 100, couple of hundred. And that's not mentioning or counting the ones that I just actually played, in the studio, other people's guitars. So I kind of have an idea, and it's just my opinion of how a good guitar should feel and sound, because a lot of us don't realize how important the action is on your guitar. Minus all that other stuff, that it looks good and it sounds good, that don't mean nothing if it don't feel good to you to play. And that's kind of the same thing with that theory thing. It's important, but guess what's more important than that? Learning structure of song. I've yet to hear anybody discuss that on their channels, or in general, And that's why I'm able to do what I do, because a lot of people ask me, how are you able to tab this stuff so quickly? That's how, okay? Got nothing to do with theory. You got to do with structure of song, and my ear has to develop, and I can hear bass notes, and I can match up the chords to those bass notes. It's just that simple. It doesn't take a degree or, a super sense of expertise to do that. You just got to know what to do, and that's the key. Got to know what to do, and still I'm stumbling and fumbling through this theory thing for years. Knock yourself out, because that's not going to get you to the point where you can play whatever you want. All that's going to do is allow you to sit here and be condescending to other people and correct them all the time when they make little errors and mistakes, which are not important. So it's interesting. Throughout the time I get those types of commentaries about the theory thing, because I did a video, and I'm digressing, forgive me, the other day, because I got a gentleman older than me sent me a comment in a video clip. Oh, you playing it good, but here's a video for it to play it accurately. I'm not trying to play like the other dude, and here it is. You haven't figured that out yet, that no two people play the same? Hello. But anyway, getting back to the video at hand. So I did a review on a Keith Urban guitar. Now keep in mind, $129. I repeat, $129. That's how much I paid. And for that little short amount of money, it's a good guitar. Now, no two guitars are going to be the same when they get to you, because I forgot that guy's name. It's on the Groovy Channel guy. But anyway, Kevin Grove. His last name is Grove. But anyway, he mentioned something that's really interesting. He said, if you live in one part of the country, and then your guitar is being shipped to another part of the country, there's a difference in temperature, humidity, and it will make the guitar change its action sometimes. So, we don't think about that because we're not guitar makers. The only thing we want to do is play them. But, guitars are like furniture. They're wood. So wood does reflect the temperature, because I can recall, and everybody can attest to this, in the wintertime, you can get that front door open easy. In the summer, no, one or the other. In the summertime, it's hard to get that door open, or one of those. But what the point I'm making is the wood tends to swell depending on the time of the season. So, you have a hard time closing that door, hard time opening that door. Guitars kind of, they have a tendency to respond in the same kind of manner. If you put them in extreme heat or extreme cold, there's going to be difference. So basically this video is about, a commentary that I received regarding, Keith Urban guitars. And before I say this, I'm going to say this. At no point in time you can please everybody in the room. At no point in time you can't please everybody. It's just a law of average. Everybody has a different, mindset. And then there are a few people that deliberately want to be opposed to everybody else to stand out, even though everything that's been presented to them they can agree to, but yet they want to be the one person that everybody look at and no, I don't feel that way, but that we're excluding those people because those people do exist. So I did a review and I'm like, for 129, you can't beat this. It feels heavy, the wood is good, it sounds good, it plays good. The action is good. If I had my way, it'd be a little lower, but you know me, I like my stuff real low. But it's an average set of action, so I'm like, I don't have any complaints. So I'm going to read you parts of this guy's comment because it's kind of long. And it says, "You're the man, Morris, man, but I got to throw a monkey wrench in the works. Perhaps you were lucky, but there are so many disappointed buyers of this guitar. And I'm being one of them." And he mentions how his action was kind of high and he wasn't pleased. And my first thought was, you got a money back guarantee. You don't like it, send that sucker back. Because again, the law of average kicks in, and maybe you did get a defective guitar, and then maybe some other people got defective guitars, and that's why they have this, money back guarantee in place. If you're not happy as a customer, just send that sucker back. I've sent back guitars that were worth quite a bit of money, and it's like they just don't work for me, So it's just the law of average. But he goes on to say that let me find that part. Well, he goes on to say that it's a beginner's guitar, and I wouldn't even give it to a beginner. And I guess my question is, well, what would you give a beginner? You're not trying to break the bank with the beginners as far as I'm going buy them a $2,000 Les Paul. Because for one, they won't even appreciate that. For two, you got to earn that, because it makes sense. Why would I give you the top of the line guitar and you can't play yet? And then in 2 months, you decide you want to take up something else and go chase girls. And then put that expensive guitar up under the bed and I got to sell it, so that makes no sense. But I guess my question is, well, what would you give one? What would you recommend? If this is not to your liking and you think that it's not worth the 129, what is your take? What would you give them? And then he says, what does a beginner knows about guitar set? They don't know anything. And I mentioned that before. The very first guitar I got, my mama bought me. She don't know nothing about guitar. The second guitar, somebody bought me, or my mama bought me. My brother bought it for me. He took me there, we went to Sears, and he bought me a cheap Tasco. So it's like when you don't know, and that's the great thing about now versus in the 70s when I was growing up. If you're a beginner, and someone is buying you something and they don't know, they can just simply take you to Guitar Center. And the Guitar Center guys or Sam Ash guys will hook you up because they know what you need. So I just thought I would post this because everybody is different and everybody is not going to agree to what, they think is, feasible. Because again, for $129, I don't have any complaints. I've played hundreds and hundreds of guitars. And then as far as the action rising, because you mentioned that, guess what? If you've been playing guitars long enough, especially acoustic guitars, that action is going to rise regardless of what brand it is. It's just, again, the law of average. It's the heat, it's the humidity. It's not necessarily, well, to an extent, it has to deal with the quality of the guitar because, of course, a Taylor is not going to whoop up on you as fast as a Keith Urban guitar, You do have to take care of the acoustic guitars. You got to put those suckers in the case. You can't sit them up in your living room throughout the entire year. When you're not playing them, got to put them away. And then I recommend you get one of those little things, and I should have grabbed one. It's a little cup, and it has something in it, and you put water in it, and then it helps humidify the guitar. I don't think I've ever had an acoustic guitar at some point the action didn't jack up on me, and it jack up on me noticeably. That's why I don't go on a tangent, or should I say, I don't buy a lot of them at one time. I might buy a bunch of electric guitars, but as far as my acoustic, I got 3, and I had 2 until I just bought that one because they are higher maintenance for some reason. That action will rise on you because of the humidity. But I just thought I would post this video because it's just the law of average. You're not going to be able to please everybody. I highly recommend it for beginners. I recommend it for intermediate players, So everybody's opinion is different. But I find it interesting when people make comments like, I wouldn't give it to them. Well, what would you recommend? I never hear people, when they make these comments, what they would recommend and say, this is a better guitar. Same thing with the covers. When people tell me, "Oh, you're not playing it right now," I'm like, "Well, show me how to play it right." If you think I'm not playing it right, let me click on your channel, see all these videos you done posted doing it the right way. So, I kind of find that interesting when people want to kind of, make those kind of comments, but they don't bring nothing to back it up. They tell me that this is wrong. Well, what's right? And how do you determine that is wrong if you don't have an example of that is right? Now I'm gonna just make one more comment, then I'm gonna end this video because I gotta just stick this story in here and it fits. Against the law of average, my videos are not gonna please everybody, and I'm not here to please nobody. I'm just here to educate and show people chords. So however you want to take that, it's on you. But I get this sometimes. Well, I get these too. Your guitar tune. I don't have it in front of me, but every time I tune my guitar and before I post a video, I pull out that tuner every single time, tune it up. Now, sometimes what happens is if I'm playing a cover that might be a vinyl record, the speed slows down, so the gestures, the key actually, semitones, where it's kind of almost in the middle. So that's one reason why it might not lock in or sound exactly like it. Other reasons, simple. The guitar that I'm playing sounds different from the guitar on the recording, so it's not gonna, like that. I'm able to do the Nile Rodgers stuff so good because, he plays just a Strat and, his stuff is pretty simple, even though it's funky, but it's extremely simple. So it locks in well. But sometimes I get, the guitar nonsense out of tune, and then I get this one, which is even more funny. I had I did a bass cover, and they said, "You did a good job, but your D string is sharp, is a tad bit sharp." I'm like, "Damn, your ear that good? You should be a millionaire, okay?" Because I'm like, when I listen to stuff, and I got a good ear, as you know. I got people all around the world asking me to tab stuff, and I can't hear that. I'm not listening for it, but I can't hear it because if it's really out, I would be able to hear it without me looking for it. So I find that interesting when I get comments like that. I'm like, come on. You got no videos, but yet your ear is that good that you can hear that one of the strings are a tad bit sharp. Get the fuck out of here. But until next time, take care.